Hi there, Clark Bryan here, down in my studio. I'm here with Darryl Fabiani today, who's tuning my piano, and we're just going to talk a little bit about piano tuning. Hey Darryl, how are you today?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. So I want to ask a question that people ask me all the time. How often should someone get their piano tuned?
That's a great question. We recommend at least once a year for proper maintenance. Depending on the actual environment of the piano, sometimes it requires more tunings. And depending on if you're performing, so like at the Aeolian Hall, we're there weekly because the piano has to be perfect for the actual performer. But it's a good idea to keep it maintaining, tuning the piano, even if it sounds okay. It's important that we still see that piano to make sure we maintain a very good level.
So like a doctor's checkup kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now I get my piano tuned twice a year,
Yep.
and I do that because I practice and play a lot, but sometimes even 3 times a year because I like it to really sound great. So what does a piano sound like when it starts going out of tune?
Yeah, you'll start to hear that when it's extreme. What happens when there's humidity fluctuations? This is the soundboard, so this is like the wood underneath here that you see. We talk about the soundboard. That's like the speaker of your piano, and you need that to move. And that's if it's so rigid, the piano, then it doesn't speak. So we want that vibration. We want that movement in the soundboard. So what happens when there's too much humidity in the room, that swells up, and right around the break here is where you'll hear it, like even the octave sound really grows. So, and in the winter time when things dry out in our forced air, that goes down, it goes flat, and then it goes flat. So the most important thing you can do for maintaining the piano and the tuning is keep a constant humidity and temperature in your room.
And what should that humidity be?
We like to keep it around 45%. Most manufacturers are within a few percentage of that.
Okay.
Like I see in the corner here at Clark's studio, he's got his humidifier running, and he's got it at 45%, which is perfect. So a lot of new homes, they have the humidification system in there, and that's great. The one thing I would recommend every time we deliver a piano, I ask people to buy a hygrometer. We should actually probably include it in the purchase, so you can actually measure the humidity throughout the year. And 9 times out of 10, when the piano goes out of tune, there's a change in that humidity.
Wow. So it's really a living creature almost in the way that it expands and contracts.
Exactly.
So one other question I have in regards to tuning is, what's the best time of year to have your piano tuned?
We typically do the least amount of tuning in the summertime because there's a lot of humidity. We like to tune the piano when it comes back to where we tuned it the previous year. So if we're going to tune it once a year, we like to do it at the exact same time of year. We do the majority of tuning in the winter time when the heat comes on because things dry out. But if you can maintain a perfect climate in a perfect world, you can tune it anytime.
Right. So if the seasons are changing and the weather's going up and down, it's probably not the best time to tune your piano.
Yeah, when the piano's going out of tune, and then if it changes, that's when we notice. Sometimes we'll let people let it come down naturally. If we notice that there's a big change in that break, which I was talking about earlier
Right.
with the soundboard.
Yeah.
If we tune that and correct it, what happens when the weather changes again, that goes the opposite. So we're constantly fighting it. So as tuners, the best thing we can tell clients is to have the climate perfect or as close to constant all year round, and then it goes down to the piano. If it's a solid piano, if it's a good piano, the climate's perfect, your piano will stay in tune all year round.
So just to recap, so we want to make sure we get those pianos tuned every year.
Yep.
If you haven't had your piano tuned for a few years, you're actually probably giving your young person who's studying noise pollution, and then you want to make sure you stabilize the environment with the humidity and temperature, and get that piano tuned at least once a year, but make sure that the time of year that you do it, it's really stable. Thank you very much, Darryl. We're so glad that you could do this little segment for us today. Darryl owns DNS Pianos here in London, Ontario, Yamaha dealer, and used Steinway dealer as well. And here in my studio is a great Steinway B and a wonderful Yamaha C7. All right, until the next time, take care.